You ever walk up to a pond and think to yourself, where are the bass actually hiding? You start casting everywhere and get nothing. Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how to find bass in almost any type of pond, high pressure public ponds, even if you're fishing from the bank. I've been fishing high pressure public ponds for over 35 years. And once you learn a few simple patterns, you can walk up to almost any pond, I guarantee you any pond, and quickly figure out where the bass are. Most anglers just start casting everywhere. They get out of the car, grab their tackle box, grab their rods, walk down to the pond, and they start just casting. They start whipping that lure all over the place. And I'm throwing here, I'm throwing there, I'm throwing everywhere, right? That's a big no-no. Bass aren't spread out everywhere in these ponds. Remember, they are pressured. And when they are pressured, bass look for very specific things to hold tight and to get away from the pressure. Remember that. They're pressured. You're going into their environment and they are being pressured. One thing I always talk about, if you go into these ponds, put your tackle box, don't even pull your tackle box out. Keep your tackle box in the car, keep your rods in the car. Walk around that pond even before you make a first cast. Survey the pond. And we're going to go through what you're looking for. When you find those things, go back to your car, grab your tackle box, grab your rods and reels, and it's go time, son. It's about to be on. They got some big bass after big bass all day long, son. Now I'm ready. So what are we looking for? First thing we're looking for is corners. Corners of a pond. That's the first thing we want to look for. Corners of ponds are natural ambush spots. Bass love corners. They're fishing down the bank and they stay in one spot. I'm looking for corners. I'm looking for coves. Natural ambush spots. I know there'll be bass there. Bass can trap bait fish there. And they feel secure. Fish along the banks, meeting at the corner. I am telling you, that is money. There's always bait fish there. And when you have bait fish, you'll have bass. It's a great ambush spot. Most public ponds have shallow banks that drop off into deep water. That drop off is often where bass will sit and wait for food. Yeah, what we're looking for is ambush spots. That's what it's all about. Again, we're surveying the pond first and finding these spots. Now you're gonna ask, hey, getting done fishing, how am I gonna know? How am I going to know where the drop-offs are? You could use a sonar, a castable sonar, a Garmin castable sonar, a deeper pro castable sonar. You could drag a jig on the bottom. If the water's clear enough, you could see it. If you don't have a castable sonar and you're looking for these drop-offs, I say use about a three-quarter ounce jig, cast it on the bottom, feel the bottom. It doesn't take long, and you'll start to understand the depths of the pond. A lot of these public ponds, there's maps out there that give you the depth. Those are things that you're looking for. You want to cast parallel to the bank. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you don't have a castable sonar, even if you don't want to use a jig, most ponds are built the same. And you're like, what do you mean by that? Most ponds are built the same. You come up, coming from the bank, it goes down, and then it kind of goes down, and it goes into a flat, into the bottom. And then it'll come back up, then it'll come back up the other side, and it'll kind of go up, and it'll kind of go up into the flat. They're all built the same. So I know probably a 5 to 10 feet off the bank, I'm going to have some type of drop-off. I want to fish parallel to that. I don't want to fish against the bank. I want to be fishing that 5 to 10 foot off that bank. And that is where I know a drop-off will be. I know that's where the drop-off will be. That is how majority of ponds are built. I am telling you, 5 to 10 feet, there will be a drop-off. Ponds aren't just built where they just go straight down and then come straight, but slowly come back. Usually goes down and it kind of dips down, gets down into the bottom, and then kind of comes up, dips up, and kind of comes up. That's what you're looking for. Not down the bank. 5 to 10 feet off that bank, and I'm fishing parallel. Getting it done, son. Shade. Let's talk about shade. Shade is not only shade all day long. Certain parts of a pond can be shaded 2 to 3 hours before the sun comes down. Depends on if you have trees and it's shading that area. It's going to cool the water in the summertime. It's going to attract bait fish. Trees, docks, overhangs. And when I'm fishing in the morning, if I'm fishing first thing in the morning, and I know a section of the lake, that sun is not going to hit that section of the lake, or if it's going to hit it last, I'm going to key in on that. I know when that sun hits that lake, those bass are going to move out deeper or going to find structure. I'm looking for shade. Same thing in the afternoon. If I have a section of the lake, let's say starting at 2 o'clock, because there's a bunch of trees around it, starting at 2 o'clock, it gets shade, I'm hitting that. Shade, bass love shade. Any type of shade. Again, trees, branches. We could talk about vegetation, lily pads, hydrilla. It's all about shade. Bass like shade. They love shade. It's a great ambush spot. So looking for shade when you're walking around and when you're looking at a pond. Structure. Bass, when you get into high pressure public ponds, bass will always go to structure. It's not always the obvious structure. Sometimes it's just a little nuance. Could be some rocks, fallen trees, grass, drains. I always look for drains. I always look for water in, water out. That's structure. Bass will always relate to structure. They'll hold tight to structure on these pressured public ponds. That's what you're looking for. Any object in the water is like a magnet for bass. I'm going to repeat that. Any object in the water is like a magnet to bass. Again, even if it's a small little piece of structure, it will hold bass. And pressure ponds, they'll be tight. I mean, they'll hold tight onto that. Again, slow it down, natural presentation, and you'll get it. When I approach a new pond, I just don't start casting randomly. I walk the bank. I look for these 4 things first. Looking for structure, looking for shade, looking for corners. Walking the shoreline. I'm looking. If I see bait fish, do I see a lot of bait fish in one area versus the other? If I see bait fish, I know bass are right behind it. If I see bait fish, I know that the bass are probably related to something. Maybe you can't see it. Maybe it's a drop-off. Maybe there's some type of structure there. But if there's bait fish, and a lot of bait fish, there'll be bass right behind it. Corners and shade are money. You have to find those areas. One trick a lot of anglers overlook is fishing parallel to the shoreline. We talked about it a little bit. Instead of casting straight out into the middle, it's just bass often cruise the banks. I see it all the time. See early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Those bass are moving in and out by those banks, chasing bait fish. You want to be casting parallel. If you see bass roaming, you don't want to cast straight out. You want to cast parallel to it and bring that bait across. You'll have better success. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Bass in ponds relate to structure, shade, and depth changes. Find these 3 things and you'll find bass. Bass fishing isn't complicated fishing in these high pressure public ponds. We overcomplicate it, or we don't do the right things. I've been there. I've done that. I feel your frustration. When you go to a pond, I urge you, do the research before you get there. Even if you're coming home from work and you have 10 minutes, like I can't fish, walk the pond. Or I have to go somewhere, I got 10 minutes, I'm going to drive past that pond. Stop and walk it. Google map it. See if there's from your local that there's depths on it. If there's a map locally or on the internet that has a depths on it. Majority of these ponds are been scanned and been sonared at one point or another. That information, a lot of times you could find it. It's going to help you. It's going to help you become more successful. Don't just pick up your bag and start fishing randomly. Find structure, shade, corners, depth changes. Bass will always relate to those. And I mean always. Do natural presentations, finesse, and you'll be successful. That's how you find bass in high-pressured public ponds every single day you go out there. Just getting it done, son. Yes, sir. Boom, catching big bass after big bass, yes sir. If you enjoy pond fishing and bank fishing tips like this, subscribe to the channel. I share new bass fishing strategies every week. Greatly appreciate it. All the links are down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification. If you're already a subscriber, I greatly appreciate it. Go check out the links down below. Go check out the merch store. Go check out the membership. A lot of perks there. Greatly appreciate it. Really helps grow the channel. And I'll catch you next time on Getting It Done Fishing.